Oh, ooh. Yo, it's that Canadian Rooster. Yo, Thug Duck, I got a job, buddy. I'm making like plastic materials and plastics and shit like that. Should be interesting. That one Canadian plastic guy, eh? Excuse me. Do I like it? Start Monday. It will be from 3 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So I guess there will be no more midday streams anymore. You know. So I'll only stream on weekends and like after I'm done work and stuff. I'll be finishing work at like 11 o'clock, and I'll probably stream once in a while after work or something. Let's see here. See here, Greater Demon. What's its weakness? Water? Air and fire? I need water. Mist stuff? I think this is the water. And air. Air and water, yup, yup, yup. Well, looks like I'm buying these. Look at that, boy. It's got a sick little upgradey poo for the account. How cool. How very cool. Alright, now what we'll need. I think we're just gonna sell my loot tab here as well. Sell up this little loot tab Rooney. Alright, well there's a quick 9mm made. Okay. Shoot that bitch all the way up to 19mm like that. Love to see it, love to see it. Take 10 of those. We'll take 10 of those. We'll take the house telly. I think that's everything else that we need. Yeah, let's click all that shit when I get back. Battle staves just sell immediately too. That's pretty dope. Go to World 330. Might actually just invest in building an altar in my house. That way I don't have to swap worlds as much. I don't even care about the drops from these guys, honestly. Am I pet hunting? Not at the moment. The other day I did like 200 KC trying to get a pet at Zora, trying to get a snake pet. Right now I'm just trying to. Right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my magic level to 92 because at 92 I unlock a spell that is like essential for the account. You know, so once I get one more level here, I'm gonna have like one of the best spells I can get in the game. And it will help me be able to boss people. Is it a poison spell? Kind of. It's like a life leeching spell. So you know in Pokemon how they have like the one grass type move that absorb will absorb like other Pokemon's health and it will heal you. It's essentially the same thing. It's called Blood Barrage, and like when I use it, it will hit a multitude. It will hit like a 3x3 tile, and any enemy within that 3x3 tile, it will just siphon their health into me. I need that so I can go do more bosses. Like there's this boss called Bandos, and Bandos is like quintessential for. It's quintessential to have the Blood Barrage, so you can siphon off his little minions and not have to heal as much. You know what I mean? You alright? You alright? Hello? I guess they're alright. Give me a sec here, I gotta go see who fucking fell. Or what fell. You alright? Yeah, something fell. I thought it was you. What? Hmm.
Backside fell, isn't it?
There's your room.
It's, I see it.
Yep. Okie dokie. Good morning, Best Lee. Wake and bake? Yeah, you know it, buddy. Do exclamation point redeem tote. Boys, I'm so excited. I'm gonna be getting a fucking car soon. Can't wait. Can't fucking wait. Can't fucking wait. Stokes gonna be a fatty. Woo! That was some wax, yeah. I just call it oiled because it's all oil. It's all the same shit. You just make wax by incorporating air into regular oil or shatter. You know what I mean? That's all. That's the only way you make. That's how you make it. It's all just oil. Oil just fucking with different chemical, but not even chemical processing. It's just like different fucking ways of manipulating it. You know what I mean? You can turn wax into shatter too if you know how to. This takes a little reverse engineering. Olive oil. Low key, brother, all I want is this fucking magic level 250k. You gamble? Car. I used to, brother, like every day type shit, but I haven't gambled. I've gone gambling once this year, and my New Year's resolution was to not gamble at all. So, so do with that information what you will. I used to, I used to gamble every day, and I won like thousands of dollars doing it. You know what I mean? But I blew all that money that I won back into gambling. So, did I really win at the end of the day, or just have a really good time? It's not like I lost any money, but you know, not like I won any either. At the end of the day, I used to gamble on stake and shit all the time, though. I should, oh, bro. I love blackjack. Fuck, man. I love blackjack. It's like my fucking Achilles heel when it comes to gambling. Just love that shit. Such a thrill. What's everyone up to today in chat? How's the boys? How are the boys? I should buy like 10,000 more fucking blood runes. 127 of these bitches left. Man, it's so windy outside today. I'm working on my HP level too, almost 99 on that, so this works out well. And then 80 coins he gives me. Oh, cool.
I think based on what you've told me, I think based on the history that you've told me between the two of you guys, and the fact that he's rough, and the fact that he's abusive, and the fact that he's violent, and the fact that you guys are separated, he came back from war, you didn't like it, you wanted to get the hell off you.
I just wanted him to get out of my house.
And he didn't, though. He didn't, Nina. And maybe the first time was accidental, and maybe he got shot, but you know what? You probably had enough of it, and you shot him again.
I didn't intentionally shoot him again. I might have.
911, can you please fire?
Jesus. Nope. Kill this fucking Goomba first.
He was shooting it from Yucatan. Yeah, for sure. He was shooting it crazy for sure. He caught one of them in transition, and I was like kind of closing out, and I'm like, he not about to shoot this, and then he launched. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun to watch him like be competing against him today for sure. He was shooting it from
Fucking Yucatan.
Nico Harrison is a scared little man. Today,
That shit was funny as fuck. He's shooting that shit from Yucatan. Magus ring? Jesus. I think it's gotta be 41 mil? No, it's not even that bad.
This is the last known footage of Christy Wilson. She's 27 years old, a regular at a casino, a pro who knows how to count cards. But look closely, she's being followed. When she sits beside the strange man at his table, everything changes. Christy becomes disoriented. She starts acting weird, completely out of character. It's as if she's losing her mind, but Christy only had one drink that night. This one. What she doesn't know is that her drink has been spiked. The man leans in too close. Christy shifts uncomfortably, but he doesn't back off. In the parking lot, CCTV captures him grabbing Christy as she pushes him away. The young woman is unaware that the man beside her has already kidnapped and killed people before. And on that night, Christy Wilson disappeared.
Surveillance cameras have captured her leaving the casino with an older man. Her family is understandably frantic, and her parents...
We really need to know. Is she dead? Is she alive? We just...
Well, I mean, good thing they're at a casino.
But Debbie, Christy's mother, will
The guy would've got ID'd.
to find her missing daughter, even if it means uncovering the horrifying truth hidden behind a series of gruesome crimes and murders, all linked to the very same man who went after Christy that night.
I want my daughter back, and I want her back now. I may be 5'1" and blonde, but they've just met a barracuda, and the fight's on.
On October 4th, 2005, Christy Wilson was on the phone with her mother.
Christy liked the holidays and Halloween was coming, and she had this cat that she dressed up in this Halloween costume, and she sent a picture of the cat with the costume on.
She also had some good news to share with her mother. Following massive layoffs in the tech company she had been working at, Christy had been unemployed for a little while, but was recently picked for a new job interview.
Chicks built more than most guys. That's
She was
sad.
so excited, and we were so happy for her. She was going to start fresh, and that was her goal.
Christy was still living in and out of her ex-boyfriend's apartment. Her new job would be in San Francisco, and the young woman was excited about moving, although there'd be one place she'd miss. On the outskirts of Sacramento was her playground, a casino where she'd made tremendous amounts of money playing blackjack, the Thunder Valley.
Christy was extremely analytical. I mean, just naturally analytical, and she enjoyed blackjack. She knew how to count cards.
Blackjack is a game of skill as much as chance, where players try to get as close to 21 as possible without going over. Christy had learned to count cards, and always knew when the odds were in her favor. She'd often earn upwards of $5,000 a night playing at the Thunder Valley. Later that evening, Christy headed to the casino to play one last time before leaving for San Francisco. Around 10:30 p.m., she called her ex to tell him she was about to leave. However, Christy never returned to the apartment. The next day, he tried to reach her 72 times. This is the last voicemail he sent her.
It's now been 24 hours since I talked to you last, and I'm worried sick about you.
It was 10 p.m. on October 6 when Debbie and her husband received a phone call that would change their lives forever.
Our phone rang at 10 o'clock at night. Danny had told my husband that Christy went to Thunder Valley Casino, and that was the last anybody saw her from. He wanted to file a missing persons report.
It had been 48 hours since Christy's disappearance. The police explained that because she was an adult, they needed proof she hadn't left on her own accord, and the fact that Christy was tackling depression at the time didn't help their case.
She just was in a vicious downward spiral of just feeling like, life just wasn't good. I said, look around. Look at everything that you have. Look at everything you've accomplished. You're beautiful. You've got a great personality.
And it seems her mother's words resonated with her.
You've got everything. You're beautiful. You got a great personality. Jesus Christ. Great advice, mother.
So she was serious about doing something about depression.
Tapes and CDs, coaching videos, attacking anxiety, depression. I mean, this is the kind of gal she is. She wasn't going to just sit back and say, woe is me.
But amongst her belongings, Debbie found something else. Dozens upon dozens of notebooks filled with her daughter's handwriting, all of which centered around a single subject: blackjack strategies. It was hard to admit, but maybe Christy's passion for gambling had slowly turned into an addiction.
How often do you think she went to the
You know what I'm
casino?
saying?
More often than I think I would even imagine.
This was when it clicked for Debbie. Christy's ex-boyfriend told her that she left the casino around 10:30 p.m. But what if the game got the better of her? What if she stayed? And what if something sinister happened while she was still inside?
The next morning, the cops called us back and said, Mrs. Boyd, we have located Christie's car. It's in the parking lot of Thunder Valley Casino.
Took them that long to figure that out? Like, what the fuck? Bro, I swear to God, some cops are just inept. They just don't, like, use their brain. Shouldn't the fucking casino be, like, one of the first places they look? Like, shouldn't have taken that long for them to figure out that it was her car.
She told them if Christy had truly left on her own, she wouldn't have left her pet behind. And sure enough, not only was her cat still there, but so was her luggage, medication, and other personal effects. Now convinced something was wrong, police returned to the casino and began reviewing the surveillance footage.
A full, like, 72 hours later.
Christy arrived right before 7 p.m., withdrew cash from the ATM, exchanged it for chips, and sat at a blackjack table. She was winning as usual. Then, they noticed something, or rather, someone. A short, stocky man with black hair stood near the slot machines, watching her. After a while, he sat at another blackjack table. Christy switched tables a few times before ending up beside him. The man, who appeared to be twice her age, acted friendly, high-fiving her and patting her on the back every time she won. However, casino staff familiar with Christy later reported that her behavior changed after she joined the man's table. She started losing more, acting completely out of character, and became visibly disoriented. When her stepfather, San Jose Police Sergeant Patrick Boyd, got to review the tapes himself, he confirmed that this behavior wasn't like her at all.
She was being a real jerk at the time, from what I understand. And by watching, I could only see her physical action, couldn't hear her words. And I could see the way her body got rigid and how she had moved differently. And I really wanted to look hard into this. And you had that gut feeling as both a police officer and as a parent, something really majorly wrong.
The man's actions became more intrusive. He wrapped his arms around her, touched her legs, and leaned in uncomfortably close. By 11 p.m., 5 hours into her stay, Christy finally pushed him away and left the table. Footage showed her calling her ex-boyfriend. This is when, according to her ex, she said she was about to leave, but instead, she returned to the table and continued playing. As time passed, it became clear Christy was intoxicated, despite having had only one drink that night, offered by the man. By 1 a.m., tensions escalated when Christy got into an argument with a dealer. When security intervened, he stepped in, insisting he would escort her out of the casino himself. However, as they walked toward the exit, his behavior turned more predatory. He grabbed her, pulling her close as she repeatedly pushed him away.
All over here.
The footage only became more troubling as the minutes passed, until they both vanished, out of the camera's range and into what the investigators called the black hole.
She enters the black hole, and she never exits that particular area again.
The camera goes on its rotation. And so for a period of time, we couldn't see what happened.
After Patrick shared the details,
Change the fucking view of the fucking camera. You know what I mean? You can adjust, like, the brightness and shit.
Who was that man? Why did Christy act this way? Where was she?
Also, they're at a casino. They should have been able to get this man's like, whenever you go into a casino, you gotta get identified. This man should have been easily identified right off of the cuff.
One question consumed her above all else, the one she asked during one of her first public addresses since her daughter's disappearance.
We really need to know, is she dead? Is she alive? We just want to bring her home.
Debbie wasn't the only one feeling overwhelmed. The police couldn't investigate everything at once, so they focused on what mattered most, finding Christy. A massive search began in the field surrounding the casino.
The fuck?
Debbie and Christy's sister joined in, but 3 days had passed since she vanished, and the family couldn't.
They should be trying to find the guy. Fuck searching.
You want to hear details, but you don't. It's just I get this image in my head of God, what she must have been going through, and
yeah, I mean,
I see is all these empty fields, and I kept thinking, this is so big. How are they going to find her? So at that point, sheer panic set in for me, and I just was beside myself.
Debbie had been a shadow of her former self since Christy's disappearance, but one development quickly changed that. While the man caught on the casino's camera stalked Christy from afar, he used one of Thunder Valley's slot machines linked to his casino membership cards. The police identified the man in question as 53-year-old Mario Garcia. When this was revealed to the Boyds, Debbie's attitude drastically shifted.
If he's any kind of a man, he'll tell us where he's my daughter. I want my daughter back, and I want her back now.
Debbie and Pat have been beacons of hope in this situation. They have endured the unimaginable of not knowing.
It took them that long to figure it out, bro. That should have been within like a matter of a day.
Pain into passion.
You know what I
This
mean?
changed everything.
That's
There was
crazy.
no doubt in Debbie's mind. Someone had the answers. Someone knew the truth about Christy, and that someone was Mario Garcia.
Surveillance cameras have captured her leaving the casino with an older man.
Well, Garcia,
Take a look at this.
this is my life. We have too much pain. Please help us.
Also,
All hands better be on deck because something is seriously wrong.
However, the police didn't necessarily see it this way. Mario Garcia wasn't some drifter or known criminal. He was a husband, a father, a soccer coach, and owned a large ranch in the area. On paper, he was the last person they'd expect to be involved in a disappearance.
Yeah, it doesn't
His
matter. He
family
was
stood by him,
seen, so it's
insisting
just
it
like,
was
go.
impossible.
In the Chinese culture, your husband is your destiny. And with him, I have that feeling. I just have that energy, that connection.
He was always there for us. He'd always come home, make sure, we all sit at the table. Just, stay close, tight.
Some like Dennis Rader type shit.
Although Garcia didn't match the profile, police still ran a background check on him. They found nothing except a minor misdemeanor recorded in the 80s. But when they contacted the victim, 52-year-old Wendy Ward, they discovered that this was only the tip of the iceberg.
You don't cross Mario. You don't cross him. Especially if you're a woman and you're alone.
In her mid-20s, Wendy dated Mario Garcia for some time. She describes him as a usually compassionate boyfriend, but with an extremely violent side. After months of enduring his uncontrollable outbursts, Wendy attempted to leave him, and Garcia sexually assaulted her in retaliation.
He was holding my neck. He says, you do anything, I will take your head and I will smash it. I will just smash it.
A few weeks later, all hell broke loose when Wendy told him to stop harassing her over the phone. He drove up to her place and kidnapped her in broad daylight.
He said to me, take off your clothes, and I said no. I just was clawing, scratching, whatever I could do. Then he choked me. Then he started to choke me.
Garcia proceeded to rape Wendy again in the back of his van. He then drove back to his apartment and dragged her inside.
He pulled a gun out of his cabinet. And he took a cartridge and he slammed it up in the bottom. And then he brought the gun over and he held it to my head. And he pulled the trigger. And then he took the gun and then he held it to my mouth and pulled it again.
Garcia's gun wasn't loaded, but Wendy was in shock. Realizing she could have been killed right then and there was simply too much for the young woman.
He could kill me. I'm surprised that I actually am alive. I'm very lucky.
Breaking down in tears on the floor, Wendy was then sexually assaulted for the third time. Garcia then headed to the kitchen and casually made himself a sandwich, as if nothing had happened. She pressed charges, but the procedure stalled for over 2 years. At first, her legal team intended to charge him with kidnapping, 3 counts of rape, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. However, in the end, Garcia was only charged with the latter, sentenced to a short probation, and, years later, even managed to reduce the charge to a misdemeanor, ridding himself of his felon status in the process.
I felt sick to my stomach. It was humiliating. I felt after my own incident with him that he could very easily do this again with someone else. Is he dangerous? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Garcia's past wasn't as clean as he would have people believe, but what shocked the detectives most was that Wendy wasn't done yet. Following up on her own violent history with Garcia, she went on to tell them about Lynette Smith, the man's next girlfriend. On Christmas Eve of 1979, 1 year after Wendy's ordeal, Lynette told Garcia she was leaving him at a family dinner. She was pregnant with his child, but after enduring constant beatings and abuse at his hand, she made her decision. She wouldn't keep the baby. No records of his reaction exist, but later that night, as Garcia, Lynette, and her mother were on their way home in her car, tragedy struck. We do not know what happened inside or even who was driving, but something went wrong when the vehicle passed by the Oakland estuary. Eyewitnesses reported seeing the vehicle pull over on the side of the road, reverse to face the water, and suddenly accelerate through both lanes, plunging straight into the estuary. Police arrived almost immediately. Garcia was still in the water. There was no sign of Lynette or her mother. Actually, Garcia didn't even mention the other passengers until he was formally interrogated much later that night. Even weirder, right after he revealed Lynette and her mother's existence, he immediately asked for his attorney and refused to give any other information to the police. Lynette's body washed ashore a week later, and her mother was found dead inside the car. No charges were ever filed against Garcia, who claimed he wasn't driving and somehow slept through the accident, conveniently allowing him to feign ignorance. The detectives were
That's
stunned.
crazy.
Their once presumed innocent suspect was now not just a violent rapist, but also an alleged murderer. When asked how she knew all the details, Wendy explained that Lynette's brother, who had been a childhood friend of hers, reached out to her years ago. When she casually asked how his sister was doing, she was baffled by the revelation.
I said, yeah, she was killed in a car accident involved with this guy named Mario Garcia. Mario Garcia,
It goes beyond disbelief.
she says, I used to date him. I was involved with him. I have rape charges against him.
Following the detective's discussion with Wendy, Garcia was arrested. Unfortunately, without CCTV footage of what actually happened to Christy, the police still had no concrete evidence against him. But that didn't matter to Debbie. After speaking with Wendy and hearing her story's horrific details, the distraught mother knew she had to do something. No matter what it took, Debbie would see to it that Garcia paid for his crimes.
Really emotionally ripped me apart. The thought of him getting off on this case once again scares the living daylights out of me for every woman. Every woman.
With Garcia in custody, detectives immediately noticed the cuts and scratches covering his face and lower neck. His left eye was also swollen and bruised. But when questioned about his injuries, the suspect quickly came up with a story.
I had a little accident with the tractor in the tree. I got poison oak on my face.
The day after Christie's disappearance, Garcia showed up to work late and left after just an hour. Unusual behavior for a manager. His employees confirmed he already had the scratches when he arrived, but an ER doctor who sat across from him and Christie at the casino the night before couldn't recall seeing any.
Did he seem to have any injuries on his face?
I didn't see any injuries, no. And I'm reasonably good at making those kind of observations because that's what I do for a living.
This blew up Garcia's alibi. There was no logical reason he'd been out clearing trees in the middle of the night. However, one major issue remained. If Debbie wanted justice, they would have to go to trial without a body, and detectives had yet to uncover a single clue about Christie's whereabouts. Instead, they focused on the gap in the parking lot surveillance footage, the so-called black hole. The lot's cameras rotated on a 3-minute and
all you gotta do is turn up the hue.
Briefly leaving certain areas unwatched. Garcia's car was barely visible on another feed. Only its taillights were in the frame. Whether by chance or design, he had parked in some sort of blind spot. But detectives still found something. Garcia was driving a Toyota Camry, and in the early 2000s, these models had an unusual feature. Their lights would flash in quick succession, depending on how many doors were opened. For over 3 minutes, the secondary feed actually gathered 4 flash sequences, meaning that every door was open. And just before the rotating camera swung back, he drove off. But instead of heading home, as he later claimed, he went to the opposite direction.
During that period of time, I believe that she was incapacitated in some fashion and probably laid in the backseat.
Garcia had been lying every step of the way, and now Debbie, Patrick, and the state prosecutor were ready to take him to a trial without a body, a first in North Sacramento legal history. Without Christie's remains or a murder weapon, everything would hinge on circumstantial evidence. Convincing a jury beyond reasonable doubt would be far from easy.
When I was learning all this, I said, no, he's not going to beat this. We've got to be sure that this guy and all of his arrogance does not escape.
You're not fooling anybody, and especially not me. And I will continue to pursue you and pursue you and pursue you.
The trial began on September 25th, 2006, a little over a year after Christie's disappearance. In front of the court, Wendy Ward met with Debbie and her family for the first time, and she remained by their side for the entirety of the procedures.
I couldn't stop hugging her. I just wanted to just hold her and hug her and all the family.
60 more of these fucking bastards.
I just did.
During the trial, the prosecution showed the CCTV footage to the jury, but this time it carried even more weight. Police had uncovered new evidence on Garcia's computer. After Christie's disappearance, he searched extensively for information on date rape drugs.
He was reading through, once ingested, How long does it take to leave your system? 2 days after my daughter goes missing, are you kidding me? He slipped something in her beverage because the behavior that she exhibited while at that blackjack table over the course of time, it was not her.
However, the most incriminating evidence came from Christie herself. Despite Garcia's attempts to scrub his car with bleach, he failed to remove all of Christie's DNA. Tiny strands of her hair and microscopic droplets of her blood remained on the back seat. The injuries Garcia received after the final fight Christie put up were even more compelling. This is because, on top of attending kickboxing classes, Christie had also been taught self-defense by her stepfather, Patrick. The police sergeant gave her tips, like aiming for the eyes if she was attacked, or faking an STD if someone attempted to rape her, a skill she had used once before, when an abusive ex physically assaulted her. After police arrested the ex in question, they documented his injuries. Amongst the scratches and bruises, 4 deep claw marks on his chest, some of the same wounds Garcia received the night of Christie's disappearance.
She fought and she fought and she fought her killer. If she was going to lose her life to violence, she made darn sure that she left her mark on her killer.
The prosecution dismantled Garcia piece by piece. His lies, his false alibi, his injuries, the DNA, the surveillance footage. They didn't need a body to prove what had happened.
There was overwhelming evidence.
You could actually feel what Christie must have been going through at that time.
All of her actions, the marks on him, for me, that was, Christie was right there.
After hours of deliberation, the jury returned with the verdict.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Mario Flavio Garcia, guilty of a violation.
Absolutely, justice has been served. It's about time.
Justice for the Boyds, but no closure. Garcia was gone, yet Christie was still missing, and her fate remained locked away with the man who took her.
There's no happiness in this. This is kind of a very shallow victory. It's always going to be hollow because no matter what happens, she's gone.
That was a smart, intelligent young woman that had so much to offer, and he took that. Now, Mario Garcia, where did you put my daughter? Where did you put my daughter? Which, to this day, we don't have the answer.
Following the trial, Wendy, Debbie, Patrick, and Christie's sister all attended Garcia's sentencing. Because of extended procedure regarding Wendy's case, the judge more than doubled Garcia's sentence from 25 to 59 years, guaranteeing he would stay behind bars until his death. The convicted murderer wasn't happy about this, to say the least.
I suppose that at this hearing, I'm supposed to ask for mercy and to show remorse. However, I will not do such thing.
You killed my daughter. I have no doubt that you would kill again. And for that, I thank my daughter for her bravery, her fight, and I love her very much. Thank you very much.
From then on, the Boyds had to campaign against Garcia's appeal every few years, reliving their trauma and loss each time. However, nothing hit harder than when the murderer began writing directly to Debbie in 2017. Even though he didn't admit to anything or express any remorse, his writing suggested that some kind of deal could be made to help her find Christie.
Was she in an ocean? Was she in a ditch for 15 years? I never went to bed without wondering, where is she? I wanted Christie back so bad that I thought, you know what? Let's see how far this goes.
It is unclear whether Garcia wanted a reduced sentence or to be let go entirely, but Debbie had to make a choice. This might be her only chance to be reunited with her missing daughter. She harbored no illusions, though. It had been more than a decade. She knew Christie was dead. Debbie only wanted to turn the page. Yet, closure came at a cost. The question was, how much was she willing to pay?
I was sitting there thinking, what on earth are you doing, Debbie?
No way I'd be negotiating with that piece of shit.
This would be such a disgrace. He will not use my daughter's body as a bargaining chip.
That's what I'm saying.
At
I
this
thought I gotta
point,
go fuck
all
himself.
hope seemed lost for Debbie and Patrick. Still, following Garcia's failed plea attempt, detectives revisited the case, re-interviewing key people, especially his wife and now grown children. Their views on Garcia had shifted. They no longer defended him. In fact, his son, Chris, shared something new, something he had never fully understood before. A few days after Christie vanished, Chris had a big soccer game. Garcia, his coach, had never missed one before, but that day, when Chris went to get him, he found his father working on his tractor far from their house. He was frantic and disheveled. When Chris asked if he was coming, Garcia barely looked up. "I'm not coming," he muttered. Back then, Chris didn't think much of it, but knowing everything that went down afterward, he wasn't so sure anymore. During their initial search in 2005, cadaver dogs scoured Garcia's 5-acre property and found nothing. But, with the location pointed out by Chris in mind, detectives returned with a ground-penetrating radar. It didn't take long before it picked up something buried deep beneath the soil. They started digging. 20 feet down, they uncovered a bone. They needed confirmation, so an archaeologist was brought in to determine whether it was human or not.
He's like, "You're not close enough." I said, "Oh, yes, I am." And he said, "Get closer." So they had me get down in the trench, really double check, triple check. Okay, yes, it's human.
For the past 15 years, Christie's case had been handled by the same pair of detectives, Nuno Tavares and Don Murchison. Both fell to their knees when the archaeologist confirmed the bone's human origin. Finally, a breakthrough. As the excavation continued, their team discovered an entire skeleton, and forensic experts quickly identified it as being Christie's. The bones revealed that she had broken her hand and nose, confirming she fought back against Garcia before he killed her. Later that night, the two detectives visited Patrick and Debbie to announce to them that their daughter's body had finally been recovered.
I remember her that night saying, "Is it okay to be happy or joyful?" She kept looking around going, "Is that okay?"
We didn't know whether we should open a bottle of champagne. There was just a lot of hugs, some quietness, sometimes just sitting there, letting it sink in.
The following day, Debbie and Patrick broke the news to the rest of the world and properly thanked the detectives who had never stopped looking for their daughter for the past 15 years.
Today is a day that absolutely reflects some of the greatest level of
Damn, if she made a deal with that guy, she would have been so mad.
that a victim's family could ever ask for.
They brought two people home. They brought my daughter home. They brought my wife home.
Debbie was finally free. On the anniversary of Christie's passing, she had her remains cremated and finally put her daughter to rest.
We can grieve the way that we should have been able to grieve 15 years ago. There's a peace about that.
I was so blessed to be her mom for 27 years, and that I will carry with me forever.
Oh shit, Rune
Christie's death
Fulham.
left wounds far beyond her immediate family. Her best friend, Tiffany, took the stage at a memorial held in her honor.
I will never forget Christy and will carry her with me always. I have to remember those words that she said to me when my sister died.
Tiffany still remembered the words her best friend shared that day, a year before her disappearance. It was almost as if Christy had unknowingly written her own eulogy, her voice reaching from across the veil.
My name is Christy Wilson. I do want to tell Tiffany, though, that she loved you very much. Because although her presence, her body isn't here on Earth, her spirit will be with us forever. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just such a hard time for everyone. And I just want you guys all to think how one day you guys will join her again in heaven.
How many more of these motherfuckers? 39. Oh my god.
What's up, guys? So here are the yesterday ALGS Block 2 land scream highlights in the Block 2 of Lobby 100.
This game is.
I'm gonna take their TP.
Oh my god.
I'm taking it.
Oh my god.
Oh, what the?
Oh my god. That's how it started.
Bro, what the am I playing?
God, he's actually.
This is brain dead. I'm taking, dude. This is so f***ing brain dead. What did?
Oh my. But Panner is.
Check him out. He's dead.
Really far. Nice.
The other two are very low. They might have his zone.
They all just fucking keep going back again.
I took the other one. This game is.
I'm gonna take their TP. I'm taking it. Oh, what the? Bro, what the am I playing? This is brain dead. I'm taking. Oh, dude. This is so brain dead. Savage. One dead. Please kill them.
That is fucking hilarious.
In today's MLB recap, Tommy Pham hit one of the craziest emotes I've ever seen a player hit against a fan. Like, he did that towards a fan. The Dodgers, oof, the injury bug is biting them pretty good the last week. Glasnow, he has a hamstring issue. Blake Snell, he was literally just told to stop throwing altogether. Meanwhile, Gavin Lux is torching baseballs with the Reds, while Michael Conforto and Miguel Rojas have both been pretty bad this year. I still don't quite understand why the Dodgers gave up on Gavin Lux this early in his career. Aaron Judge, I mean, I should believe this, but it's unbelievable, is batting .415 after yet another multi-hit game, while Paul Goldschmidt is batting .390 or something insane like that.
Paul Goldschmidt's always been good. I've been saying Paul Goldschmidt should be a Yankee for years. Like, he just fit right in. Like, it's stupid how they didn't sign him. He should have been there for with the whole of his tenure as a fucking Cardinal.
And also Phillies fans, yeah, they're calling their GM into question because he replaced a star reliever with a guy who cannot get outs. We'll talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap, a series in which we recap every game every single day, so hit that subscribe button.
Yo, that's hilarious. You know, it's funny, that guy used to be the Blue Jays closer. Fuck him.
Like, you guys have a bright future. I love Peter Bendix, but we have some big storylines in this Rangers and A's game. As Jock, he's trying to end that 0 for 41 streak. We have a super prospect, first name Nick, last name Kurtz, making his debut, and Lawrence Butler is a borderline superstar. I feel like I throw around superstar maybe too loosely, but I could be an optimist. I don't know. Objectively, though, Lawrence Butler has been a top 10 hitter in baseball since last July. He's got 4 home runs and an almost 370 on base this year. Shea, he put it in play. It might not be smart to test Wyatt Langford. They're testing him. Soderstrom's in there safely. It's 2-0 A's. Make it 3-0. In his first at bat, Nick, he catches up to 96 and sends it back up the middle. That was 112 off the bat. He's already showing some of the best bat speed in the game. Urshela, he squeaked one to right, so Kurtz, he's scoring. And wait, what just happened? That was the first 3-ball count to Jacob Wilson all year and his first walk. He has 1 walk, 4 strikeouts in 23 games. That's how good of a contact king he is. He only makes contact. He doesn't even get to 3-ball counts. I'm going to be a little bit dramatic here, but Wyatt Langford has been Mike Trout-like since last August. He's got 15 home runs, 12 stolen bases, a 380 on base his last 49 games. He's jacked, but he's still top, 4 or 5% in speed. JP Sears and the A's staff held the Rangers to, whoa, wait. Chuck, he got a base hit, a pinch hit double. He's just in there ahead of the tag. He ends that 0 for 41. He will not be breaking Chris Davis's record. Mason Miller ends it with 102. He has 7 saves. All 3 outs, by the way, were on the strikeout. So Kurtz, he gets his first hit, RBI, and run. Jacob sees his first 3-ball count and gets his first walk. And Jock, he ends an 0 for 41. That was a fun first game of the day. Now we have some bad news. Dodgers fans, they are used to hearing bad news, but overcoming it. Blake Snell, he is down with a shoulder issue. He's been down for quite some time, but he's been told to stop throwing altogether. Now this comes a few days after Tyler Glasnow. He was shredding, but he had to leave a game early with a hamstring issue. Dodgers fans are probably like, this isn't anything new. We're not worried, but should you be? On top of the injury news, LA, they're on the verge of being under 500 over the last 15 games. At least Teoscar knows what's up. He knocked in 2 for the game's first few runs. Pete, I think he did it again. He did! PCA Pete Crow Armstrong has a home run in back-to-back games. He just became the 4th player since 2000 to have 5 doubles, 5 home runs, and 4 stolen bases in a 9-game stretch. The other 3, just Hall of Famer Vladimir Guerrero Sr., Shohei Ohtani, and Fernando Tatis Jr. I was kind of shocked that Mookie wasn't in that conversation, or a Mike Trout, but Mookie, he's already a Hall of Famer. He ties it at 3 with a double. Teoscar went crazy again. He had 4 RBIs before the 6th even came to a close, and staying with 6s, that's his 6th home run. He has 22 RBIs. The Cubs, they do not quit, though. They tied it right back.
Damn, the Cubs are looking pretty good this year, man.
Loaded to plate 2, and Michael Busch, he's going to test Teoscar, and Teoscar, he fired it in, but Busch, he's just ahead of the throw. So it's 6-5 on the Nico Horner sac fly. Pete, it's not an extra base hit or anything, but it's still an RBI. He has 12 RBIs over those last 9 games. Andy, he's been using the power button only, like exclusively.
I wonder if the Jays are playing today.
Still batting just 180 on the season. I thought it was going to be another back and forth classic, but the Cubs bullpen was nails. 1 hit over
105? Damn, I might be watching a Jays game today. They're playing the Yankees too.
A sweep. The Dodgers are 7-8 their last 15. Chicago, they're showing that they're not going to be bullied by anyone. We have yet another 7-6 ball game that featured an absolute glitch in the Matrix. Pete Crow Armstrong, he's a 5-tool start in the making because he's got that rocket arm. Corbin, maybe a 4.5-tool guy because that arm, it's not the best, but it is getting better and better. His new stance has turned him into a legit power hitter. That's 8 home runs. That ball went 420 feet. Christopher Morelli's trying to break out because he's been terrible as a Ray. Nice to see him finally run into a ball. So the game ended up 2-2 after a few traded runs when Chandler Simpson, he's going to get a chance to flex that speed. It's just outside.
Ooh!
Tim Tawa, he trots in for the double. Alec Thomas scores. Erod, he was great, but he did allow a few guys to get on in the 7th. No chance he's going to face Yandy, but Yandy's that dude. He doesn't care who he's facing. A bullet 2-run single. Tampa, they're up a run now. No, they are, because Corbin, he is now tied for the MLB lead with 9 home runs, 430 to dead center. It's 5-4 Arizona.
Dude, that was a moonshot.
Rookie Speedster saved the Rays from the jaws of defeat. His RBI
Yo.
scores his extras, and this
Telling us you called.
He catches up to 98 upstairs for his 3rd hit of the day, and Yandy, he plates a massive 7.
Oh fuck, sorry, I was sleeping.
Arizona, they're all about chaos. Taylor Walls, he had to rush it. It's 7-6
Yeah, my
now.
bad.
Perdomo, he's up with the bases loaded, and he chopped one. That's an inning-ending double play.
Nah, fuck all, man.
As well.
It's chilling.
Talk about the
How about you?
Giants game after this, but I've been summoned by Jays fans. The Jays lost again, and they really want me to call out one of their players.
There you go.
Christian Walker, he catapulted one 800 feet high for his 3rd home run. He has
Alright, yeah, that was my bad. I was just seeing what the fuck you're calling about.
just past the sliding Addison Barger and Zach DeZenzo. He cashed in the RBI. Jordan, he then had a
Yeah,
wild
good.
and long RBI out. It was a sac fly to George Springer. Vladdy, he showed some athleticism in this inning. He went through the infield and
Sounds good, bud.
fly. Springer, he had a hot shot
Peace.
to left field, and Vladdy unhooked the trailer to score all the way from first base. But again, the Jays lost. The Seawalk, he showed why he's a 3-time Gold Glover. He helps rookie Ryan Gusto go 5 1/3 with 6 strikeouts. Pena, he has a 14-game hit streak, but yeah, that was pretty much this game. Hader had 2 strikeouts. He has 7 saves. The Astros are 13-11. But just like that, the Jays are swept, and Jays fans want me to call out Vladimir Guerrero Jr. because the pop has vanished. He has 1 home run on the year. He still has a really, really impressive 373 on base, insane exit velocities, bat speeds, and a career low in ground ball percentage, but he also has a career low in pulling the ball, so he gets better and better at pulling as the season ages. And don't forget that Vladdy was hitting .206 with only 3 home runs his first 27 games last year, so he's not a $500 million bust just yet. Have some patience. Vladdy's always been a slow starter, but I guess for the sake of Toronto fans, I'm calling him out. There it is. The Giants can actually tie the Dodgers in the standings with a dub over the Brewers, and it's not going to be easy because they got to face Freddie Peralta. Look at Jackson Chourio flying over in foul territory. He makes a net catch. Peralta, he's taking on Logan Webb, by the way. I forgot to mention that, and they went at it. They traded strikeout after strikeout, shutout frame after shutout frame. Seems like the first to score is going to win. And back-to-back base hits versus Freddie is not a great start to the 6th. He then walked Chapman. His day is done. Milwaukee had to deploy their strikeout machine, Nick Mears. Wilmer, you cannot get him out right now with runners in scoring position. He's batting .390 with runners in scoring position. He's leading MLB with 27 RBIs. And this almost never happens, but a platinum glover just botched a play. Bryce Terang ruined the inning-ending double play, so that allows San Francisco to score a free run. They made it 2 free runs because Reese, he couldn't snag it. The error goes to Joey Ortiz on this play.
Oh, dude, there's no way you don't catch that. You gotta catch that.
It meant nothing because Duvall, he came in and put out the fire. Kind of crazy because it would have been a tie game. Instead, it's a rare L due to bad defense up the middle for the Brewers. The Giants are now 16-9. Tyler Bowers, thanks to a monster game from Logan Webb, 6 strikeouts. He's got a 1.98 ERA. He has a 3.1 ERA since 2021 over his last 800 innings. Don't forget, in the playoffs, he's even better. 1 earned run, 17 strikeouts, and 14 postseason innings. He's still just 28. I'm curious where his career stats are going to be in 5 or 6 years. The Padres are still the top dog in the NL West right now, but you wouldn't know that if you only watched them play on the road. Gleyber Torres, he kickstarted this one with his second home run. He has 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases his first 13 games. Olsen, talking about Reese Olsen, his changeup ate the Padres alive. The vertical movement is insane.
Yeah, that changeup's dirty. Holy shit.
He has power for days. Reese, he kept on carving, and I mean carving. It's hard to throw 7 scoreless in the big leagues, let alone 7 shutout on 71 pitches with 7 strikeouts against the Padres. The Tigers went up 3 after Oscar Gonzalez took a tumble, and Malloy, he gets another RBI. Riley Green, honestly, if this happened to me in the MLB The Show, I'm throwing my controller 98 inside, like a foot inside, and he fights it off for an RBI. And if you aren't looking, please look, because Javier
That's
Baez
crazy.
just turned in a perfect play in center field. He looks like a natural out there already. No BS. He's actually grading out fairly well with the jumps and range and all of that out there in center. Dylan Dingler.
He's just a natural in the field.
Might actually be a wagon. 3 home runs, 11 RBIs for the young catcher. The Tigers take the series as Reese and the bullpen throw another shutout. The Tigers are 15-10. Their team ERA of 2.9 is 3rd best in all of Major League Baseball. All right. No more delaying the New York games. The Yankees are trying to avoid being swept, while the Mets, they're trying to sweep the...
All right. Oh, shit, bro. I forgot. Forgot all about this account right here. This bad boy. Hey, Rocky. Rocky. Hey, bud. Hi. Be here. Gotta kill 7 more of these cocksuckers.
We're about to watch from CPAC. At this point. People who hurt children. I don't know why anyone would, and why you would vote for Carney, knowing that, like, I know I did a deep dive in it. His fucking family is in the Epstein book. Like, I don't know. I'm not.
I feel yeah, exactly. Like I'm pretty sure none of us in the chat are.
The money this morning on some bets.
I mean, I hear putting money on shit. That's crazy. On period to win. I ain't betting nothing on no politics. Fuck that. End the stream. Fuck it.